Welcome back everybody, my name is Lucas and today we are going to have a look on the perks that are useful in my opinion in free-for-all games. Last week we briefly spoke about the adjustment in the playstyle that I needed to take to be successful. Today I'm going to analyze with you some perks that I found are very useful in free-for-all games. So let's get into it. The first things first, I have just Prestige and right now I have about 22 hours into the game, so I have used most of the guns, most of the perks, and I want to share my opinion and the things that I found are useful in the free-for-all games. So first things first, the first slot of the perks, where you have the Sixth Sense, the Ghost and all sorts of perks like that, I would say they're very useful, but not in free-for-all in particular. Why? You might think, why Ghost? Well, think about this situation where, you know, when you play team-based games, modes, yes, you know, there's gonna be tons of UAVs that helps the whole team. But in a free-for-all, even if the guy gets the UAV after, it's just helping that one person. Is that really that important for you? I don't think so. So I skip the whole blue section of perks. I pretty much don't use them. I know the Sixth Sense is a great perk, but we're going to talk about this a little bit more further on. So what I found very useful, it's the green slots and then the red slots. So the green slots, there are two perks that I think they are very important to have, or at least one of them. If you could go with both. That's what I aim to do. And the first one is the Fast Hands. It's absolutely a must in my opinion. Like free-for-all on Black Ops 3, it's run only on the small maps. If you play that for a little bit, you will notice that some maps are not even in the rotation. The bigger ones, that let's say the one that was in the beta, it was like the Hunted or something, those maps are not even in a free-for-all rotation. So therefore you are face to face with your enemy pretty much all the time. I need that Fast Hands, and I found them to be very useful. And now the second perk is the Hardwired, and I think it's an important perk because of two things. Because it almost completely cuts off the Sixth Sense perk as well as the Tracker perk, and so many people tend to use those perks in free-for-all games. So therefore this is like a very stealthy option to go with, and it's really good to be off that minimap so that you can remain unnoticed and to surprise your enemy. So going on, the next two perks that I absolutely think that those are a must, it's both the Awareness and the Dead Silence. I mean, this game, the sounds and the footsteps and all this sort of stuff, it's so heavy, but it's also so useful that in a game mode like this, when you are on your own and the only thing that you can rely on is just your own skills, you know, that awareness and knowing if the enemy is coming from behind you, in front of you, from the left or from the right, it's absolutely a must. And I want to talk about the Dead Silence a little bit more, because people think that Dead Silence only cancels your footsteps and that's all it does. And it's true, it's absolutely true, but I think there's a little bonus to it, because as soon as you put the Dead Silence on, your own footsteps are mute and they don't sort of collide with the footsteps of your enemies. So I find it that it's a lot, you know, it's easier to sort of pinpoint exactly from what direction the enemy is coming from, because as soon as you put that perk on, you absolutely don't hear your footstep at all. It's sort of like you're flying above the ground and you make no sound whatsoever. So yeah, I think I tend to use those four perks in a combination and then run whatever I have left on attachments. But not always, that's not always the case. Like in the gameplay that you see in the background, I actually don't use the Hardwire because I was testing the Akuda and I put the rapid fire on it, and I needed the foregrip as well. So, but they are classes my aim is to run those, and I found them extremely useful and extremely effective, because you can see they are all based around being stealthy and aware of what's going on around you. Because in a game mode like free-for-all,
Okay,
you
flight
have to
313,
take
roger.
every possible clue that is around you and implement it into your game so that you can have that advantage over your enemy. And you can see that many times in this game when I'm pre-aiming, because I know there's a guy coming, because I had awareness on, because I had dead silence on, and I don't hear, and I'm not distracted by my own footsteps. So yeah, I think those perks are the ones to go. Like when you think about the flak jacket and tactical mask and stuff like this, people usually don't throw nades at you all the time in people. Yes, every now and then you get a nade in your face, but it's I think it's a waste of a slot, because again, though, this is not domination, this is not team deathmatch when you are constantly bombed. So yes, thank you guys again for watching, thank you for listening, and I will be bringing more of these to you soon.